Hi guys, it's JongLi here, and this is the second battle that we had with AXILEAS and Quag. So we're playing as the exact same factions as we were the first time. The only difference to our army compositions is the fact that AXILEAS has brought 2 urbans instead of 2 archers. As you can see, I've formed up in front of Quag this time, and Imperator's formed up in front of AXILEAS. So we are facing different direct opponents than last game. As you can see, Quag has these 2 urbans on the side as a flanking force, and his cav behind them. AXILEAS has his men over here in a rather tight group. Imperator's men are quite thin and spread out, and Imperator's trying to use this to his advantage by pushing on this flank. I've decided to spread some men out here to kind of block his flanking force, as well as to try and support Imperator a little bit, try to cover this middle area. So right now we're just squaring up and kind of waiting for the Peeler war to start. So over here, AXILEAS is moving some of his units this way to kind of stop this flanking maneuver. And here, Imperator is moving some of his cav this way to face off against AXILEAS' cav. So the Peeler fight has started in the center here, and it started for Imperator and AXILEAS as well. So nothing much has gone on at this point. Imperator has folded a bit of this corner back in because of the threat of these 4 units. Here AXILEAS moves them back in. So over here I've moved my urbans up a little bit to try and get Peeler from these guys, and Quag pushes forward, so I Tetsudo this unit. So over here, Imperator's not doing anything really, and neither is AXILEAS. AXILEAS' army is in like a big block, so this will be a good holding force, and they're in quite thick ranks as well. Over here, Quag's put 1 urban into this flank, and the Peeler has started to be thrown in this side. So now Quag charges his urbans into my urbans. And if it's 3 on 2, then I'm definitely losing that fight. So I moved my cavalry closer to the center, but I saw that Quag had 3 cavalry units here. So I should have moved them a bit more this way. Quag goes in for a cav charge here. And I should be pumping a lot more urbans onto this side, because if this side breaks, it's bad for me. So I put my general over here. It would probably have been better to peel one of these urbans off. Quag comes in with a charge. And at this point, I'm hesitating as to whether I should move my entire army over here to cut off these cav from the rest of Quag's army, and I don't do it because I don't want to isolate Imperator and leave a gap here. So I'm pretty much just letting Quag do these charges and throw more urbans in. As you can see, my general unit is struggling. It's on 45 men compared to 68. In the center, not much is happening, but Quag is pumping more urbans into this side, as he can see that he's slowly getting the upper hand here, and my general is really exposed as well. So over here, I'm aiming for this unit. It was a pretty ineffective charge, to be honest. And over here, the centers, nothing much is going on. I should move these 2 units, maybe these 3 over here as freshmen. And over here I see that he's brought the rest of his cav to this side, and I try to move my infantry this way to block them off, because I've sealed off half of Quag's cav with all my cav, so I know I can win this if I'm able to block these cav from supporting Quag's original cav. But my lines here are already too thin, and Quag manages to get through and support his guys. And Quag also pushes his infantry through, so in the end I do take a lot of damage from that. And my general dies as well, which hurts morale. As you can see, the general unit's routed. This is pretty much the only part that's holding now. Imperator's thrown in 3 of his urbans over here to help me, but he's surrounded by AXILEAS as well, and his guys are starting to rout. AXILEAS has a ton of men over here. I've got this unit of urbans idling here. I think I throw them over to Imperator soon. Over here, Quag's managed to get a surround on me, which is bad. I turn this unit around in time, so I'm able to block it, but they're still around me, which is bad for morale. As you can see, one unit's already routed from that. Yeah, so over here, AXILEAS has this massive infantry that's just pushing through Imperator's forces. I'm trying to support with this unit. I've got some units that have come back from routing, and looks like I've forgotten about them. They could have been of pretty good use here. I do bring them back later, but it's too late by then. Over here, Imperator's brought some of his cav over to try and save this kind of predicament that we're in, but he's given up this flank to AXILEAS, who's got this bunch of infantry still alive. So over here, the rest of my infantry has routed, and I've only got these depleted units left, and like 2 units of cav, which I'm going to suicide charge. So it's looking really bad for us now. Imperator comes in with a charge here, but it doesn't do much. I'm trying to get my infantry to surround, catch the cav, but not to much effect. Here, Imperator manages to rout quite a bit of Quag's units, because I've got the surround and he got the charge in, so that was really good. But as you can see, we can't hold AXILEAS for very long, and eventually he's going to break through here and come around. So if we are to have a chance of winning, we have to wrap this flank up really quick. As you can see, Imperator's doing a great job, lots of routing Scipii units, but over here AXILEAS has poured some of his infantry into the back of Imperator's infantry, and Quag's still got a bit of infantry left here and some cav. All I've got left is pretty much these units and, well, that unit there which just routed. So out of this stalling force, only 1 unit's left, and that's going to break soon. And over here, we're not faring too well either. We've still got this bunch who have not routed, and AXILEAS is very rapidly enclosing on us, and here Imperator's general routes and dies. So his men rout, my guys are surrounded, they obviously rout, and that's pretty much game over. So it was an average defeat. Well played to our enemies, and well played to Imperator as well. That was a really fun game. And let's have a look at the statistics. So yeah, I could have done a lot more with my cav, and by not moving my infantry early enough, and by not giving my men the appropriate support on that left flank, I really did like stuff that part up, and that pretty much cost us the game. So it just goes to show how little mistakes can sometimes cost you the match. Alright, that's it.